Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and in this video I'll be going over the various discounts and bonuses that are now active in GTA Online as of Thursday the 27th of May 2021. All of these are going to be available for 1 week until Thursday the 3rd of June. The podium vehicle this week is the Nero Custom, which can be won by spinning the lucky wheel in the casino. It's in the Supers class and normally sets you back just over $2 million, which is $1.4 million for the regular Nero and then an extra $600k to turn it into the Nero Custom at Benny's. It's in the B tier for the Supers class, so while it's not quite on the top pace for supercars anymore, it is really nice to drive and still bloody quick, so worth winning for free. The premium race this week is Taking Off, which is an old style lap race at the airport for the Supers class. There's not an awful lot going on with this track and it's mostly going to be just about sticking with the slipstream of others, so go with the usuals of the Emirates and Krieger for the best chance to win here. Also, the regular time trial this week is Observatory, which you can see being completed later in the video alongside the premium race track, with the RC time trial being Construction Site 1. In terms of regular vehicle discounts, you'll get 40% off the X80 Proto, taking its price from $2.7 million to $1.6 million, and is another B tier supercar that's on the same sort of pace as the Nero Custom. There's also 40% off the Amorgon, which has pretty much the best acceleration from a standing start of any car in the game, but overall is just off the top sports cars for pace. Then there's 40% off the Infernus Classic, which is also just off the top cars in the Sports Classics class, and the Gauntlet Classic Custom, which has a great top speed but can't corner very well. When it comes to non-regular vehicles, there's 35% off the Avenger and Scramjet, plus 40% off the Rocket Voltic, Chernobog, RCV, Thruster, Kanjali and Hydra. You can of course find out the lap times, top speeds and tiers of all the vehicles that I've mentioned here by checking out the playlist and video links in the description and pinned comment. In terms of discounts specifically for Amazon Prime Gaming members who've linked their Rockstar Social Club accounts, you'll get 80% off the Sultan Classic, taking it from around $1.5 million to just around $300,000, in addition to 80% off the Patriot Stretch, making it cost around $100,000 from about $500,000. There's also 60% off the Vagrant, bringing its regular price down to just under $900,000 and its trade price to just over $650,000. For racing, the Patriot Stretch isn't worth mentioning since it's in last place for the SUVs class, while the Sultan Classic is just outside the top 10 in the Sport class and a decent car off-road. The Vagrant, meanwhile, is the quickest off-road car in the game and for racing can somewhat compete with the BF400 bike. Be aware though that it's not the most consistent to drive, but if you want the quickest thing in the off-road class, this is it. I'd also like to thank ExpressVPN for sponsoring today's video. ExpressVPN basically serves as a bridge between your device and the internet. You can also use it to pretend you're in another country to get around location restrictions for video streaming services, with your money refunded if you're not happy within 30 days, and a service that just works with no tricky setup. It's definitely worth checking out. Use the link in the description to head to expressvpn.com/Bruffy and get 3 months free on a 12-month plan. Other miscellaneous bonuses this week include triple money on stunt races and motor wars, plus double money on Simeon contact missions. There's also 40% off facilities and facility renovations. In terms of my deal of the week, I think I'm going to go with the Amorgon. While it's not on the top pace of the top sports cars over most laps, there will be certain tracks where its crazy acceleration can allow it to compete, and to be honest, it's just damn fun to drive a really high acceleration car that can actually turn corners relatively well too. And now it's time for the news and discussion segment of the video where I ramble on for a few minutes about something while you watch me completing this week's time trial and showcasing the track for the premium race. And before I get into the main topic, which is the new stunt races that have been added, I just want to say this time trial is probably the closest I've ever come to not using the adder. So as you know, recently with these videos, when I changed up these videos and wanted to do a bit more of a discussion at the end, I've started to include me completing the time trials and showcasing the premium race. And I decided to use the adder for these time trials just because of, you know, the memes around the adder being the fastest car in the game and all that kind of stuff, and you know, it never has been, but it always was back in the day, and it's a bit of a meme, but it's also quite a nice car to drive just on its own. It's not that quick anymore, but it gives me a bit of an extra challenge for the time trials rather than just using any old bike, or wheeling all the time, or using a Hakucho drag and leaning forward and just completing them relatively easily. Or even some of the top supercars like the Krieger or the Emirates are just going to be so much better for these time trials. So if you want to do them yourself, don't use the adder. But I wanted to use the adder just for the fun factor, and the fact that it gives me a bit more of a challenge to complete. Last week's was pretty difficult to do, but this week's was even more difficult. It took me quite a bit of time to get it down, and yeah, when you see at the very end of the time trial how much I beat the part-time by, it really wasn't that much. Now, if I was on PC at 60 FPS or higher or something, it would be significantly easier. Obviously, in GTA, the higher the frame rate, the quicker that you go. But I'm doing this on PS4 at 30 FPS in the adder, and it was very difficult. And I have to say, when I actually did manage to get it, I was pretty happy about it, because it took me a bit of time, and I was honestly, I wasn't sure it was possible. And I thought I was going to have to just use a bike or something just for the sake of getting it done to showcase for the video. But we're still on with the adder for every time trial so far. We'll see how long that lasts. But it's fun to have that challenge as well. It just means that these Thursday videos sometimes take a little bit more time. Anyway, the stunt races. Yeah, Rockstar have added 8 new stunt races to the game today. And I'll show a lap from one of them. I've only tried that one, I haven't tried any of the others, but from the first impressions, it is the typical Rockstar stunt race affair. They're not breaking any ground here or anything like that. It's not on the level of what the top guys in the community can create when it comes to amazing stunt race experiences. But to their credit, there are some pretty fun moments, at least in the race that I played. There's some interesting sort of jumps or sections where you're sort of flying towards the ground, and they do make some cool little moments, but obviously there's not an awful lot to the races themselves. It's not as if you're going to be challenged in the corners or anything like that. If you're going to be racing with people, it's largely just going to be slipstreaming, and if catch-up's on, it's going to be a lottery. There's not an awful lot to separate yourself from other drivers, but they are certainly a step above the old style stunt races, I would say. At least the one that I tried. I can't say the same for all of them. It seems like they have new stunt races for the supercars class. Obviously there was a few ones from for bikes there as well, maybe sports classics, probably some sports as well. I doubt they're ever going to include any stunt races that are for some of the less popular classes like sedans or coupes or SUVs or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. And Rockstar never when they create stunt races, they always lock it to a specific class, so they never just allow you to change the class on the fly. So it's just more Rockstar stunt races, really. There's nothing groundbreaking here. There's nothing majorly different. It's just more of the same. And if you like Rockstar stunt races, you'll like these. If you get bored of them quickly, you'll get bored of them quickly, but you'll have some fun for the first couple of times. I'll probably try out all of them and see what they're like, and then I'll probably never play them again like I did with the old stunt races. But, it's nice to have some new fresh content, and that's going to be the same over the coming weeks and months, I think, with new survival maps and the Deadline adversary mode maps as well. So, yeah, there is some new ones there. Feel free to check them out. But apart from that, that's pretty much it for this one. As usual, I will be back with another video just like this next Thursday, the 3rd of June, where we'll go through everything that's changed once again. Feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.